Welcome to SmallStorySphere. Today we travel to the ancient kingdom of Silvercrest to learn a vital lesson about discipline. High atop the rugged mountains stood the castle of Silvercrest, where a wise old king ruled over his people with grace. The king was growing very old, and he knew that soon he must find a worthy successor to take his place. He did not want a prince by blood, but a leader who possessed the strength of mind to rule with focus. He devised a simple yet difficult challenge to test the character of every young man and woman in the entire kingdom. The royal heralds rode out to every village, announcing that the king was finally ready to choose his new heir today. The proclamation stated that anyone who could reach the royal castle before sunset would be considered for the empty throne. Thousands of hopeful citizens gathered at the valley floor, their eyes fixed on the distant castle, dreaming of power and glory. As the morning sun broke the horizon, the massive crowd surged forward, eager to complete the journey before the day ended. The path seemed straightforward and easy at first, and the travelers moved with great speed and confidence toward their destination. But the king had prepared a secret test, lining the road with a magnificent royal festival to distract the travelers. Suddenly, the travelers encountered a vibrant fairground filled with bright colors, enticing smells, and the sounds of joy and laughter. The first temptation was food, as tables groaned under the weight of the most delicious feasts anyone had ever seen. Many travelers who had skipped breakfast to start early felt their stomachs rumble and decided to stop for just a bite. They sat down to eat, telling themselves it would only take a minute. But the feast was too good to leave. Others tried to resist, but the smell of fresh bread and roasted meat was a trap that few could escape easily. Soon, hundreds of people were seated, stuffing themselves with rich food, their mission to reach the castle slowly fading away. For those who passed the food, the king had arranged a second trap featuring the most enchanting music and entertainment. Dancers spun in circles with ribbons of silk, and singers performed ballads that made the travelers stop and listen in awe. The entertainment was so captivating that time seemed to stop, and the crowd stood frozen, forgetting the setting sun above. They clapped and cheered, thinking they could spare a few moments to enjoy the show before continuing their long journey. But minutes turned into hours, and the sun continued its steady march across the sky, indifferent to their delay. Further along, the king had set up games of skill and chance, drawing in those with a competitive spirit. There were horse races and wrestling matches, and the desire to win petty prizes made men forget the ultimate prize. Arguments broke out over the games, and the travelers became embroiled in conflicts that wasted even more of their precious time. They became obsessed with small victories in the games, losing sight of the kingdom that awaited the one who finished. The path was now clogged with people who had traded their destiny for a moment of cheap thrill and excitement. The final trap was comfort, where wine flowed freely and soft cushions invited the weary travelers to rest their legs. Exhausted from the food and games, many decided to take a short nap, believing they still had plenty of time. The afternoon sun began to wane, casting long shadows over the festival, but the people were too distracted to notice. Their minds were clouded by pleasure and drink, and the memory of the king and the castle faded into nothingness. Thousands had started the journey with hope, but now nearly all of them were trapped in the web of distractions. But amidst the noise and chaos, there was one young man named Ethan, who moved with a different kind of purpose. Ethan saw the delicious food and felt his hunger rise, but he did not stop to eat a single bite. He looked at the feast but forced his eyes back to the road, whispering to himself that he must keep going. The music called to him, begging him to stay and listen. But he knew that stopping meant losing his chance forever. He acknowledged the beauty around him, but refused to let it capture his attention, for his goal was far greater. The excitement of the games did not tempt him, for he knew that true victory was waiting at the journey's end. Old friends called out his name, inviting him to drink and rest, but he only waved and kept his steady pace. With every step, he repeated a simple mantra to keep his mind sharp. I must reach the king before sunset. He did not let his eyes wander to the left or right, locking his focus entirely on the destination ahead. The sun began to sink rapidly, and the shadows grew long and dark, threatening to end the challenge for everyone. Realizing the time was short, Ethan summoned his remaining strength and began to run up the steep path to the castle. Back at the festival, people finally noticed the setting sun and panic set in, but it was too late to move. Ethan's lungs burned and his legs felt heavy as lead, but the sight of the open gates gave him hope. The massive gates began to close slowly, creaking loudly as the final sliver of the sun disappeared behind the mountains. With one final desperate lunge, Ethan threw himself through the narrowing gap just as the heavy doors slammed shut. He lay on the cool stone of the courtyard, gasping for air. The noise of the festival completely cut off outside. Slowly, he looked up to see the old king standing before him, holding a lantern and smiling with great pride. The king helped the young man to his feet and told him that he was the only one to arrive. Ethan asked why he was alone, for he had seen thousands of people on the road when he started the journey. The king pointed down to the lights of the festival and explained that the distractions were the true test all along. He said that everyone wants to be a king, but very few have the discipline to ignore the pleasures of today. You succeeded not because you were faster or stronger, but because you refused to let your eyes leave the goal. The king declared that a person who cannot command their own attention can never hope to command a kingdom. Ethan stood by the king's side, looking down at the world below, understanding that focus was the true crown he wore. Down below, the music had stopped and the food was gone, leaving the crowd with nothing but regret and darkness. This story reminds us that the road to success is always lined with beautiful distractions designed to steal your time. In our modern world, these distractions are everywhere, calling for our attention and keeping us from reaching our own castles. To achieve greatness, you must be like Ethan, willing to say no to the easy pleasures that delay your progress. Focus is not just about what you do, but about what you are willing to ignore to get there. Under Ethan's rule, the kingdom flourished, for he led with the same unwavering discipline that brought him to the throne. Let this story be a torch that guides you through your own valley of distractions and endless temptations. Remember that the path to your dreams is always open, but only for those who can keep walking without stopping. Ask yourself today, what is the festival that is stopping you? And do you have the strength to walk past it? Your castle is waiting for you at the top of the mountain, but you must reach it before your sun sets. Thank you for watching SmallStorySphere. Remember, focus is the key to your own kingdom. Subscribe for more daily stories.